All right, welcome to YouTube, guys. So about 2-3 weeks ago, I bought this Tracker Pro 170, and I tell you why I bought it. Basically, obviously it wasn't because of the quality of the build, but let me tell you why I bought it. So first of all, one of the main reasons why I bought it is because I got tired of going through old boats, older boats with older engines. I got tired of fixing it up, maintaining it. I wanted it for a while before I, get going through the maintenance and stuff like that instead of right off the bat having to put in work for it. So that's one of the main reasons why. The second reason why was because of price, the cost. Now, yeah, I know Tracker has a bad reputation back in the past, that they tried making up for it. Here's why. If you're looking into a Tracker Pro, hopefully this will help you out. Now when I look at the whole package, as the swing tongue, that's something that's a huge deal right here. I mean, to get one of these installed, it's a couple $100. The fact that Tracker does have it come with it, it's a huge bonus. I mean, that's pretty neat. The trailer itself, it's actually not bad. It's actually a very nice trailer. Now, it sure beats what I had in the past, because what I had in the past was trailers that didn't go with the boat and basically would try to fit it on, or try to, we will have to hassle and tuggle with it at the dock. But with this, it's very easy, because, you just got to align these two right here, and it comes right on, Second thing about this is that, the package, the reason why, it gets bad, because it's an entry-level boat. It's nothing high-end. It's an entry-level boat, and the Minn Kota Edge, it's not a bad trolling motor. It's still $300-$400. It's not bad. This one, I believe, comes with a 45-pound thrust, and it's not bad. It actually moves the boat, given the fact that I bought it. This is actually a 2017 Tracker Pro 170, guys. And the reason why I bought it, too, was because the warranties on it was transferable. I still have 2.5 years on this trolling motor and the Mercury outboard, which I'll show you in a bit here. But the hull, which is the most important thing for me, the hull gives me a second owner 10 years warranty on the hull. And that's huge to me, because the reason why I'm buying an aluminum boat, I have a purpose for buying the aluminum boat over a fiberglass, because I want to get into more shallow water, because if I bang it up later on in the future, I don't have to worry about patching fiberglass. To me, in the long run, it's a lot better getting the aluminum, because I don't tournament fish. I don't do any tournament fishing. It's all for leisure. I go out about 2 times a month, 3 times a month. So I'm not. I'm a fisherman, but I'm not a true fisherman, one that goes out every 2 to 3 times a week. So this boat suits me pretty well. And given the fact that I bought this boat. It was sitting at the dealership. I bought it for $11,900. As a 2017, I bought it for $11,900. And the reason why I bought it for $11,900 was because the guy who owned it before I didn't know how to drive this boat. And I don't know if I can show you here, but he scratched it up a little bit. It's not too bad, but as you can see in the bottom there, he scratched it up a bit. And I know that he was a rookie, because when I was a rookie, I did that too. So I knew this, whoever bought this, that's why I don't recommend you to buy a brand new boat as your first boat. It's kind of like a car. It works this way as a car. It doesn't really work out. You tend to trash it. My last boat was a tiller. I've always had tiller. With the steering console, it really benefits me. And these steering console, they go for what, $500, $600, $800. So to give in the total package of this boat for $11,900, it's you know, I wouldn't say it's a steal, but it's reasonable. I would say it's reasonable. I got this boat with you know, pretty much brand new tires on there. The carpet. Now, one thing about the tracker is that the carpet, it's not very attractive. As you can see, the carpet here, it's not top end quality carpet. You can kind of see the edges here, you know, that they try fitting it in. It's not top quality, you know, even if it's a 16-ounce carpet. I mean, I've had 16-ounce carpet put on boats that were nicer than this, you know. So, given the fact that the carpet isn't all that appealing, you know, people tend to shy away from it because it looks like it's slapped on. Given the fact that is true somewhat, but at the same time, you know, I mean, I'm using this boat for fishing. I don't know what you guys are using it for. I'm using it for fishing. If it looks decent for the right price, I'd rather buy something that's cheaper versus something that I'm gonna have to spend a fortune amount on, because here in the Midwest, I use the boat about 6 months out of the year, 5 months out of the year, you know. Am I getting the full benefit of paying for a boat? I don't know, you know. That's the fact, that's the reason why I try to minimize all my price when I buy a boat, purchase a boat. So the main reason why I bought this boat was because I wanted something new, right? I wanted a newer outboard, which my outboard is a, you know, pretty much 2016 Mercury, 40 horsepower. They always make it the year prior to, you know, and Minn Kota, it's a 2017 Minn Kota, right? Still has factory warranties. That's the reason why, and I'm only spending $11,900 for it. Why not? You know, why spend $6,000-$7,000 for one that's 6-7 years old? You know, 10 years old. You know, I mean, I still see some out there that are 10 years old. They're selling for $6,000-$7,000. So this is a 4-stroke EFI. I'm not too familiarized with EFI. I mean, I own carb for most of my life. But, you know, the fact of EFI, by doing some research about it, they seem to be easier to maintenance than the carburetor versions. So basically, the battery that came with it was an Interstate, and I swapped it out to a bigger Everstart battery. That was 115 amp hours. I believe the Interstate was only about 60 amp hours, same size. So yeah, definitely bigger bang out of your buck with the Walmart battery. The guy who I bought it from, let's see if I can work my way around here. The guy who I bought it from swapped out the stock Hook 3 with the 5. You know, I'm not too big of a fan of the Hook 5s and the Hook products from Lawrence. You know, I have a Humminbird 5 that I'm going to replace it with. It seems to do a little better in the sunlight. This one, I have a harder time seeing it when the sun glares. It's tougher for me to read it. So I'm gonna probably swap it out. Throw this one right here in the boat on the front where the trolling motor is. This one does come with a 12-gallon gas tank. I do recommend, if you're gonna get the Tracker Pro, the built-in gas tank, it's probably a better option, because the way how Tracker Pro builds these is that this thing is so tiny. It took me literally 45 minutes to get my battery out and in off the back here. It's a terrible engineering build that they did here. I don't know how the hell you get the gas tank out, even if the portable, I don't know how the hell you get the portable out. So you might as well just have it built in. As far as it goes, discussing about the products and why I bought this boat was because when I looked into it, I looked into the Skorpion, the Lowe Skorpion 160. I looked into the Tracker Pro 160. And I also looked into the Crestliner, not the VT, not the newer models, but the older models, Crestliner. The CX, and basically the CX16. And I waited out to the Pro 170 because of this. Okay, The 160 now, the 160, if you're looking at the Skorpion 160 or the Tracker Pro 160, or the Skorpion 16, I'm sorry, you'll notice that they both have the same rod holders. And basically that is no rod storage. It's an open rod holder. And the matter of fact, for the reason for that is because the 16 footer is about a foot, it's about a foot shorter. So the seat right here comes right in front of the rod holder. And so therefore, I mean, obviously you can't sit down on the seat. So what they have to do is they have to create an open rod holder. And that, to me, you know, I'd rather have the secure rod holder versus the open rod holder. I mean, this one comes equipped with the key to lock and the storage in the back there to lock too. So, you know, given the long run, I mean, it just makes more sense. The 16 footer, the 17 footer, I mean, I wanted the rod holder. And I just, that, compare as far as beam goes, you know, I don't want something that's way too wide, but the wider, generally, the more stable. Okay, so this one is about, across the beam, this one is about 77 inch. The 160 for the Tracker Pro 160, it's about 70 inch, so it's about 7 inches shorter. So you're looking at maybe having it from the edge of this seat shorter. So that's a little too tiny for me, you know. Given the fact that this boat is very, very stable in the water, because I believe because of the weight. It's about 800, almost 900 pounds. So it's very stable in the water. But more narrow, I could see it rocking a little bit more, you know, because this do rock, you know, it does rock, but not as bad. So the beam it's one thing. I looked at the Lowe Skorpion, and the beam was a little bit better, 75 inch across for the 160. But the problem with the Skorpion is that I didn't like the deck. I didn't like how the deck sinked in too low for the Skorpion. This one, it's almost, you know, it's almost like a true bass boat. I mean, you got about what, an inch from the gunnels here down to the deck here. So it's actually, it's nice, you know, and I always want to edge here in case, you know, your rod rolls over or something like that. But the Skorpion has one that it drops down a little bit too low. The deck size, it's a little smaller too. Of course, it's a 16 footer. And it's a little too low. So by looking at it, that's what I didn't like about the Skorpion. And the Skorpions that I was looking at, that I compared it to, didn't have the 40 horsepower. Sorry, it had the 30 Mercury. And you know, with the 30, it'll probably still get you about 20, 25. You know, maybe in the higher 20s, 27 miles an hour in calm water. But it probably won't get you any faster than that when you need it. You know, 40 does about good for me, because the 40, this one with 2-person full gears will give me 32 miles an hour. And that's, even if I don't fly 32 miles an hour all the time, it's better to have it there when you don't need it than to need it and you don't have it. So by looking at it, and just to give and take again, you know, the Tracker, it's got its up and down, but as well as the Lowe, you know. And the Lowe, the big factor to it is that this motor was smaller. The quality build was a little better, but when you looked at the price for the Lowe was still the same amount as the Tracker here. I mean, it cost almost the same thing, you know. For the brand name and everything, it costs almost the same thing. Looking at the CX, the Crestliner CX bass boat, aluminum bass boat, I looked at it, and it's a great build. I really, really liked it, you know. But again, the front was a little bit too low. The front casting deck was a little bit too low. It came equipped with the Suzuki 70 horsepower, which is awesome. It was a 2000 Suzuki EF5 4-stroke, 70 horsepower. And I was like, man, dude, that is awesome. That is neat. You know, I really like that one. But after looking at it for a while, the 16 footer, it was a little bit yet too small for me. And again, you know, the rod holder was the same thing. Somehow these 16 footers don't have a rod locker. Maybe because it's shorter, and I don't know. I mean, I guess you gotta sacrifice the deck space if you want, you know, longer, or you gotta move the seats here back, you know, further back to the transom if you want a rod locker, you know. So that one, given again, it didn't have one, you know, but it came as a great package. It was a lot older though, but he wanted $8,000 for it. So I give and take 8, you know, for a boat that's over a decade old. That was the deal breaker for me. It was, you know, it was over a decade old. He still wanted $8,000 for it. This one was $3,000 more. So, I mean, give and take. You know, a brand new boat for $3,000 more. That it's bigger in size. You know, it comes with warranties. Everything else is pretty new. I mean, I guess, you know, everybody has their opinion on that, but I would rather take the 40 horsepower it gives me from A to B. It's decent speed. You know, pretty much still has warranty on this EFI. You know, I'm not too familiar because I've owned Hondas in the past. I've owned Hondas and Tohatsus in the past. And they were a great motor, but they were all carbon. Now, I'm not too familiar with the Mercury 4-stroke EFIs, but the big reason why I opted for the Mercury and the Tracker, which does come with the Mercury anyway, is because of dealer purposes. Everywhere here where I live is Mercury, and then you have some Yamahas. But for me to go Yamaha, I will have to go the G3 route, which their boats are extremely expensive, and I do not want to purchase that. You know, I don't want to be having to owe a $200 monthly bill for the next 12 years. No, that's not worth it for me. So, give the reason, you know, and again, you know, overall, out of everything, it's the biggest bang for your buck. That's why I bought it. You know, it comes with a decent trailer. It's got the 4-pin, you know, the foldable, the breakaway tongue. It's got a nice, you know, overall it's a decent deal. Overall, this is a decent deal. The lights are LED. That's huge. Okay. I know given all the new trailers now, they're all probably LEDs, but that's huge. I got sick and tired of pulling my 4-pin every time I go in the water, or having my bulbs blow up all the time on me. Trailering, the trailer was always a headache for me in the past. Always, because the boat that came with the trailers that I've owned never came with the boat it wasn't manufactured for the boat, and loading it on was a headache, because you would have to try to wiggle it on so that it'll fit the boat. But with this trailer, given the fact that it's built for it and it's a little decent, you know, I can back it up and load it. It takes me less than 5 minutes on the dock to load, you know, sometimes 2-3 minutes, you know, by myself, you know, and I'm not a very quick person on the dock. And yeah, it's pretty quick. So yeah, this is my intake on the Pro 170 and the reason why I bought it. You know, pretty much you can get one of these brand new, I believe, on the Tracker site for $16,000 with prep and freight. And that's a ton of money for me. I mean, to me, I need a boat. I need a reliable boat to fish in. That's what I want. Because I'm not a hardcore fisherman. I don't know how to tinker with boats. I don't know how to tinker with motors all the time. I need a really reliable boat. You know, I need something that will give me from A to B, and I don't have to. I can go 6 months, come back, and just do little maintenance here and there, and get it right back out in the water. That's what I want. you know. And with the older boats that I've been purchasing, it's either you got to spend a great deal of money, $8,000-9,000 to get a decent boat, or you got to kind of, you know, tinker with the boat yourself for $3-4 grand, you know. And I really just wanted something that was water ready, something that would get me from A to B, something that was steady, you know, stable in the water, with a decent, reliable motor. And so far, I mean, I've took this boat out about 4 times out in the water since I got it, and it's done a great job, you know, great job. I understand some guys out there, they want, you know, $20,000-30,000 boats, but hey, you know what? Everybody's got their you know, their thing in boats. I mean, if they want to spend a great deal with boats because of leisure, they want nice fluffy carpets and stuff like that. Hey, you know, more power to you. You know, for me, I'm gonna be stepping on these carpet. You know, fish blood's gonna be getting on these carpet whatsoever. Hey, you know, it's not a big deal for me to have a little bit cheaper carpets. You know, pay a little bit more cheaper price for it. So, I mean, in the next 10 years, we're probably looking at recarpeting anyway. So, it's really, it comes down to what you really want in the boat, you know. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. Before purchasing this boat, I was looking at the Pro 175 TX. And if you guys don't know what the Tracker Pro 175 TX is, it looks exactly like this one, given the fact that the beam, it's a lot wider and it's a little bit longer. It's about 17 foot and 7 inches. This one is 16 foot and 8 inches. So it's about a foot longer than this, the 175 TX, and it's got 3 seat across. That's because it's got a wider beam, about 80 inch or so, and a 75 horsepower or 60 horsepower Mercury 4-stroke. Now I was looking at one of those, and it was a little bit older. It was like a 2010 or something like that. But I was looking at that one, and it really attracted me, given the fact that the price was only $10,900. It was $1,000 cheaper than this one. But I took my time looking over it and weighing in the good and the bad of what I needed in a boat, and I figured that wasn't the boat for me. The reason given fact was because why? It's really heavy. It's a lot more heavy than this one, you know, and I dock by myself. You know, I tend to, in the future, I'm going to be docking by myself, retrieving by myself, fiddling in with the boat by myself. So, you know, I mean, a heavy boat does good in the water, but I don't want it so heavy that, you know, it's way too big for me to handle. This 170 does decent. I mean, I've dealt with boats that are in the range of 500 to 600 pounds, and they were perfectly fine for me. This one's a little heavier on my end, but it still do. But the Pro 175 TX was a lot bigger. You know, it was way big. And if I went with the Pro 175 TX, I might as well went with the fiberglass boat, you know, given that fact. But because the reason why is because the 175 TX, see, this one's got a live well. It's got I think a 15-gallon live well or so. And that's perfect for me because I don't tournament fish. So that's perfect for me. I throw bass in there, you know, I throw crappies in there, walleyes in there, you know, and it's perfect for me because I don't do any tournament fishing. It's all just for leisure, for fun, take my family out, or, you know, take another person out with me to go fish for fun. I don't do any of that hardcore stuff or any hardcore tournament fishing or any tournament fishing. And that's because the 175 TX comes with 2 live wells. I think they're like over 20 gallons each. And to me, that's just a waste of space. I don't need it. You know, I don't need to have 2 live wells in the boat. To me, that's just more risk in the future, you know, to have a leak. And that's more hassle, you know. I don't really need it. The 75 horsepower that it came with, I don't need that. You know, that's a lot of motor. That's a heavy motor. It's probably going to sit in the water a little bit lower, and I'd rather not have that. And this one, it's actually decent for me because it sits in the water. It's about a good. It has about a good 8-inch draft or so, 8-9 inch draft. So it's not too bad as long as you trim the motor up. You know, it does a decent job. But yeah, giving it all, you know, it's a good boat. For $11,000, you know, for the next, I mean, if you want to own it for the next 20 years, get it paid off in 6 years, 5 years, you know, it's a heck of a deal. You know, it's a heck of a deal for a new boat. The guy who purchased this before I did, actually, he just got, they showed me the documents, the paperwork, and he actually broke in the motor. He just got done breaking in the motor. I think he spent majority of the hours in the motor idling and going about 2,000 RPMs. So when I got it, I was able to go full blast with it. I was able to you know, power all the way with this motor, and does a good job. You know, I mean, brand new boat. It just depends on how you take care of it. You know, I haven't heard anything bad about these new tractors lately, but you know, if it does, I mean, you know, hopefully luck is on my side, and dealing with warranty is never easy too. You know, even if it does have warranty, but then, you know, with the new boat, new motor and everything, you know, it kind of falls on to the owner how they maintenance it and take care of it, you know. So yeah, that's about it. This is definitely, to me, this is worth my money, worthwhile for me. Looking into a boat that I don't want to spend a lot of money on, but I want newer equipment, more reliable things. You know, this comes into that bubble, and that's the reason why I bought it over the CX, the Crestliner CX, and the Lowe Skorpion 16. You know, given the fact that all those were pretty much in the same price range. If I went any more higher than that, or if I wanted something a lot more expensive than that, I probably wouldn't turn to the VT or the other aluminum bolts. I'd probably just go fiberglass bolt in that case. You know, but given the purpose of it, I needed something a lot lighter, something that drafted a lot shallower, and something that was, you know, at a reasonable price. And therefore, this boat came along. So, yeah, it's not bad at all for the price. All right, have a good one, guys.